How's it going, guys? Rachel West and Mark Topkin here at the Trop. Mark, the trade deadline has come and gone, only a couple more months left in the MLB season. Two biggest moves the Rays made, Jose Siri, and of course they had to DFA Brett Phillips in order to do that, and they picked up David Peralta from Arizona. What was the thought process behind those two moves, and what is the impact now of not having Brett Phillips on this Rays team?
Well, it'll be quieter without Brett Phillips here. Brett was obviously a high-energy guy, and look, he was very accessible to the media. He was definitely a guy that the fans really had a relationship with. But it's also a bottom-line business, and his numbers weren't very good. He wasn't performing well. The Rays found an opportunity to upgrade in center field. Brett Phillips was the guy to go. Look, to his benefit, he got traded yesterday. He went to Baltimore, a team that should give him an opportunity to play a little bit. They're on the fringe of the race. If he'd gone through waivers, he would have been subject to being claimed by any team that wanted him and had no control. So the Rays feel like they put him in a spot. He's with his high school teammate, Joey Crable. So all that should be good for Brett. Now, as far as the Rays themselves, they accomplished a couple things. They wanted to get a veteran bat. They got that in David Peralta. A guy who's got a little bit of been there, done that experience. Only one trip to the postseason, but a guy of 9 seasons in the big leagues, and certainly somebody who can help some of their younger players get through some of the issues that come up on a daily basis. Then the Jose Siri move was more of a bigger picture. I mean, Peralta's just really for this season. His contract is up. But I think Jose Siri was the guy, once they found he was available, they really locked in. They see him as a piece for the future. Maybe they're changing the guard. I think he's going to be their center fielder of the future. They certainly see him that way. And what we saw in his first game, he certainly looked the part.
That he did, made some very good defensive plays out there in center, and it was a little sad. Baseball was not very fun for a little bit there a couple days ago, but as you said, it is a business. Now, the Rays were in talks to get a couple other guys. Wilson Contreras was a name thrown out there, catching, more on the offensive side of things. What was the reasoning behind not ultimately going after some of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, look, talking to Eric Neander yesterday, the Rays baseball operations president, he kind of laid it out this way: they explored some things. Obviously, the prices have been high. We saw that on some of the trades. I mean, the Juan Soto trade. I've been trying to calculate what that would have been amongst the Rays franchise. Maybe just ship the whole team over there. But essentially, what it came down to, what Eric said, is that they've got a bunch of guys coming back from injury. They're fairly confident. It's always a little bit of a risk, but they're fairly confident they'll be back. That includes on the offensive side, Wander Franco, Harold Ramirez, Manny Margot. That's 3 pretty impactful players. Pitching-wise, they've got a couple relievers that they think are going to be close, JT Chargois, Nick Anderson, maybe Yanni Chirino. So they've got some guys coming. So essentially the way Eric put it was they felt like they were good where they were. They didn't see how they were going to get some new guys and be able to fit them in if they weren't significant enough upgrades. But I was a little surprised they didn't get a pitcher, but also kind of mindful of where they are. They're in the wild card race. They're not going to win the division. Their best hope is to play a best-of-3 series. It may end up being on the road if they don't finish as the top wild card. So you probably have to make your decisions based on where you stand a little bit too.
For sure, and with so many guys out for so long, it's easy to forget that their actual starting lineup isn't even here for the most part.
And that doesn't even count. Mike Zunino is out for the year. Kevin Kiermaier is out for the year.
Just so many.
Yeah.
We'd be here all day listing all the names.
And maybe JP Fire Eyes, and we could go on and
on. Goes on and on and on and on. So now that the deadline has passed and everyone's made their moves, the teams are set, how do the Rays stack up now against the rest of the division as they move forward into these last couple months?
They better start playing better soon. That's all I can tell you, Rachel. I mean, they're 3-8 as we sit here and record this coming out of the break. They haven't played very well. The offense has disappeared again. Toronto's been on a roll. They have been surging, since they changed managers essentially right before the break. They've opened up a pretty good lead over the Rays between the first and second spot. And then, the Seattle's right in the mix too now, and Cleveland is right behind the Rays. So, Kevin Cash said about a week ago they're going to stay clumped up for a while, and they have to find a way to kind of stay in that clump at the least till they get their reinforcements back. And that's clearly the challenge right now. And they go to Detroit, then they play Milwaukee, who's a contender in the National League, come back here, face Baltimore, who's hanging out in the race, then they go to New York and face the Yankees. So the schedule's not easy at a time when the Rays need to start playing better.
Going to have to win some tough games for sure here to close out the season. Well, we'll see exactly what the Rays do as they close out. Make sure you're keeping up with all of our Rays coverage that we've got for you over on social media at Sports by Tampa Bay Times, as well as over at tampabay.com.